correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not the course and the U.S. Open being played there where the movie The Greatest Game Ever Played is based?
Yes, this is absolutely correct. Francis we met as an amateur, beating out Harry Vardon and Ted Ray, who they actually held the U.S. Open for. They moved the U.S. Open back so that Harry Vardon and Ted Ray could play in it because they needed the star power of these names. Harry Vardon had 5 British Open championships at this point, had already won a U.S. Open. They needed the star power name, so they moved it back like 6 months, from May to September. That's not 6 months, but you get the math. 4 months. But they moved it back for them, close. And this amateur comes out, a 20-year-old amateur with a 10-year-old caddy, comes out and beats both of them, and they made a great movie out of it. And it's also a great movie out of it. Right. And it's also now the place where it could become the place where the oldest major championship winner could also complete his Grand Slam in Phil Mickelson, who is turning 52 years old this Thursday, and this is the one major he does not have. Now, that should be a storyline worth celebrating. It is obviously not. We are in a very different timeline right now from last year's U.S. Open, last year's PGA Championship when Phil won at Kauai. It's a whole different world for Phil Mickelson, and it's all because of Live Golf. It's all because Phil kind of I don't think he ever wanted to, but he's kind of leading the charge of these golfers who are leaving the PGA Tour, even though Phil has not turned in his card and is not one of the golfers who has left the tour. He still wants to be on the tour. But all of these great storyline names, do you remember who won the U.S. Open last year? It was Jon Rahm. No one remembers that, but that's another storyline. Can he repeat? Rory McIlroy coming off this win at the Canadian Open. Can he get in there? There's so many storylines. Scottie Scheffler, can he be the 6th golfer ever besides Ben Hogan, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Jordan Spieth to win the Masters and the Open in the same calendar year? There's all of these storylines, and yet all of the focus is on Phil Mickelson and a Live Golf Tour.
Yeah, well, Phil's already got an uphill battle going for him because of the Live Golf Tour and the fact that he essentially is the face of the rebellion, shall we say, against the PGA Tour, which, let's be honest, right? We've talked about Live Golf, and I tuned into the first round, and I thought it was exciting, and you got some of the best players in the world. I want to see them hitting golf shots. Whether or not Phil wanted to be the face of that rebellion doesn't matter, because with great power comes great responsibility, and he is the one that is now the face of that rebellion. However, he doesn't stand a chance this weekend if he continues to take L's like he did at this opening press conference on Monday that he had, because from all accounts, and I know you listened to it and I read about it, it was awkward. Extremely awkward.
It wasn't just awkward. It was deflating. Look, this is Phil Mickelson talking about bombs, dropping bombs and all that, and being out there with these young golfers and showing them the ropes and all this. This is the second biggest golfer in the last 30 years of golf, without question. Mm-hmm. It is Tiger Woods and it is Phil Mickelson, and this is one of the top, take your pick, 10, 15 golfers of all time. And he has always been energetic and, out there with the conversations and everything, and great with the camera. He got so much better at being personable with the camera over the years, and it was none of that. This was a defeated human being in front of everyone, not wanting to be there. He prepared himself as much as possible for all the questions. But when you are getting questions like, what do you say to the families of the people who died in 9/11? And it's like, I'm just trying to play golf. But because the company behind this is based out of Saudi Arabia, and they have found more and more evidence that 15 of the 19 hijackers in 9/11 were Saudi Arabian, and that the Saudi Arabian government is whitewashing this history and saying they had nothing to do with 9/11, all of these questions are coming out. The families and friends of 9/11 victims have written letters to Phil, DJ, DeChambeau, Reed, whoever, about how could you do this? How could you take this kind of blood money when these guys are, a lot of them, making a business decision, and Phil is not only making a business decision, because $200 million is a heck of a business decision, but he is also trying to fight the powers that be in the PGA about the rights to his own highlights, his own golf shots that he created out there for them. There's a lot at play here, and all he wants to do is be able to go play golf where he wants to play golf, and he is just getting bombarded with stuff that, look, I get it was his decision to join this tour, but some of these questions seem a little lowbrow. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a way. Yeah. You know I be on the way.